Does anyone know how to get this out of the container that it comes in and set it down on a plate? I don't actually have a plate, but I wanted to look at the layers, like this layer right here, and then this part here, and then you can see this on top. Well, I'll show you what I mean. I stored this fork in here. Okay, this is the pie. It comes like this, even though it looks like this right here. So if you hold this one to the side, it should look like that. They don't show the whole picture. It says serving suggestion again. Yeah, here. Serving suggestion. But how to get it out of here to put it on a plate? I don't think I would want to do that. I mean, do you do that right away when it's still frozen, or do you know, when you thought that would make it maybe softer, you want it to be in one piece? I guess I like to eat it out of the container anyway, but it might be just neater, yeah, to do that. Flavored with other natural flavor. It doesn't show the whole pie. It says 2 pies, and that's part of a pie over here, and this is part of a pie here, including, looks like somebody took a bite out of here. Well, whatever it takes for me to get some for me. Did you take a bite? Did you like it? Oh, good, good, because I want to have some after you. You know, after you. Well, what I would like to say about myself deceased is I am having friendly threatening with the creation of myself that we have gone too low in myself to be here now. That means I died somewhere because I was being threatened by somebody who's not myself, one-on-one. And I don't have a last name that way or cars parking. And I don't know why you talk to me that way, Charles Toe, and there are others, because they're called hoop penises now. That means they go over their own last name, and they want you to say no to them for the money that it is, that I would say, please don't hurt me. We are not related. And then that might be a reason to hurt me from your point of view, until now we have established the threat down to be, there are certain speech offenses that must be maliciously implanted in a walled-in facility prison with guns threatening you, that you're making a speech offense with a gun to execute the threatening, and not that you're making a speech offense by for coercion to move somebody's banking. But look at it this way. Because I'm me, so this is hard for me to say it with myself, but if somebody makes a speech offense to somebody else and they're not in a prison, what they're doing is talking over the banking, which is due to be frozen anyway. So you are possibly investigating why you are making a speech offense if you're doing it in public the wrong way, because the banking is there to tell you that you're due in jail and prison on whatever points of yourself that has banking that is for yourself, your name and where you been in your life. That might be in the bank and it's due to be frozen there. It's due that the soul has that money because I'm alive. So the soul is alive and the soul needs that money frozen in the bank because I need a death on myself. And my leverage isn't really what it looks like, that you can just take everything away from me that moves. And I have to worry about myself and my physical safety. That has turned out that you don't know your own leverage that way. But I have a mom and a dad figure, and I don't have it sorted out between the two of them why they didn't have a speech offense inside of a prison that they decided they were going to adopt myself. Because that's true that they would have to be upstate Wisconsin in a walled-in prison with a gun on the question that they go into an office inside of a prison and they have already a gun and a morgue in the prison and they say, we want to adopt Becky. Well, that's how they can fight about it, because they can't really fight over the money because the money is really pointed at that they were illegally in my house. That means they were just fighting over what could they get away with, and I don't have any prejudice with that. I don't have a death on it. They don't have a death on it. And I realize that they grew to be angry on this subject, but they approximately felt like they were God the wrong way being angry on that subject because they were not in a prison that was walled in with an address that would be deceased by a gun, and then they could really fight over who they think the money belongs to in the prison when they can't get it out of the bank with a car anymore. That means they have to give up, that they have to separate the question from the money that's in the bank because that's God's money in the bank. They were not entitled. If you have a name, you are entitled to money is not true. You have a name, that's a debt that you are paying out so that you can, live and die in God. You don't actually go to the bank because you're going to delight in the formed world. That's really erroneous on my time. I don't have time for you that way because I didn't form you. I don't have a life that way. I didn't form you. The one who formed you doesn't have a life in the question, and that's Jesus. We all know Jesus is not here to speak for anything about why you are here. He's not here and you are here, and you don't have meeting of the minds that way because Jesus is altogether not alive. The world is formed world here because I find it's alive this way, but not Jesus. Jesus is not alive this way. And that's why Hans and Donna don't have their question in the prison answered and separated from the banking. So they're not fighting over the money and who's Becky and who's Donna and who's Hans. And they're not fighting over the parking of the cars and driving to, threatening to drive the cars into the bank, the walls or the ATM or whatever. Because they're criminally insane because they're trespassing in my house and I did not give them permission to be there, or I didn't give them a key to my house. It's just alive that way that they used keys on my house and I did not give them the keys myself. They never really lied about that. It's true that they just have keys because they are themselves, and I don't have keys because I am myself. Well, it's my house. I don't have keys. So what about the car? Well, as I get older, I need more use of a car. But when I was first in alive, I was the size of a 3-year-old, and I didn't really need to know much about the car because it was parking is due to that. I couldn't drive it as the size of a 3-year-old or 4-year-old or 5-year-old. I couldn't drive it all the way until I was 16 or 15 years old, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then I stopped driving when I was in the year 2000. So what was the age? 23, something like that. So 1977 until 2000. What is that, 23 years old? Yeah, something like that. That's when I stopped driving. 24. Oh, sorry. It's 24. 25. Okay, 25. So the problem is homeless. I don't actually have a mind for that because I died too many times in the question of why I was driving a car at all. I wouldn't really want to drive, but my leverage was just that way. Sorry, I don't need it anymore. It was illegal and I don't need it now, but that's what's wrong with having trespassers in my house. I didn't have full control over my life because my house is, I don't know, impounded by burglars. who say that they have a house and I just don't have a home at all. And I don't know why you don't think there's something wrong with that, because very soon that's going to be every single one of you. You're not going to have a whole world to live in. It's not just that you don't have a home, you don't have any leverage to alive anywhere, and you're still caught in your genitals. And you didn't worry about that from the get-go. You are some people who are going to find that out when it's too late. Does it sound like a subject I should be eating dessert over? Do you think I don't have respect for you? Well, where did this food come from? Did anybody give it to me? If I went into this store and I said, "This is mine," and I walked out with it, don't you think they would stop me by saying, "Excuse me"?